Yes, indeed, family. Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. We are back for another special episode. All right. I'm gonna give it 1 second to get everything registered on my end with this YouTube. We had a little bit of difficulties last night, but we pushing through this thing. Give it 1 second to get everything registered on my end with this YouTube. We had a little bit of difficulties last night, but pushing through this thing. Yeah. All right, here we go. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. This is Brother Blue, Port live and direct to you. We are back in the building. Know the Ledge Media, Know the Ledge TV. All right, KTL Radio. We got a special program for you tonight. You know, uh, Instagram reneged on this particular transmission. This one was too powerful for them. They's like, look, take that shit over to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be responsible for the information uh transferred in this particular transmission. So we brought it over here to the tube. I was going to bring it over to YouTube anyway. So we ended up here anyway. Thank you to everybody who is tuned in live. Thank you for everyone who joined last night on our 10th episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. Very, very powerful episode. A lot of information got exchanged on that program. And it kind of set this program up for tonight because last night we were talking about insurance. Last night we were talking about wills and, planning for your inevitable transition. You know what I'm saying? And I was saying on last night episode that we get so enthralled with this experience over here as melanated folk, and we get tied up in our history, our Kemetic history. And it's worth pointing out in Kemet, the emphasis on our Kemetic experience was mainly based on our transition. You know what I'm saying? How we transitioned. This is on our Kemetic experience. Hold on 1 second. Was mainly based on our transition. You know what I'm saying? How we transitioned. Give me 1 second, y'all. On our Kemetic experience. Hold on 1 second. All right. So that experience was really based on the fact that you could live a full life and everything, and it all comes down to how you transition. The weighing of the heart ceremony, right, was about, did you live your life with a particular level of morality? Did you do this? Did you do that? And that will determine where you're going to be placed in the afterworld or the afterlife, and whether or not you're going to come back here. Will you make your inevitable trip back home? And in the comedic sense, that home would be the dog star, would be Sirius. And we were speaking about the whole aspect of Americanism and the fact that we're here in New Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And the emphasis that's being put on us here is also dealing with the death ritual, because that's where our deficit is taking place. The fact that you're coming into life as wards of the state, we don't have any control, so it seems, over our transitional period. And we're not handling our affairs. So people are not dying with wills. People are becoming burdens in death, even more so in life. People are not transferring their assets to their family. They're transferring liabilities to the family. You know what I mean? It's just becoming a very unmanageable situation. And if nothing else, if we step back and we look at the rash of celebrities who have made transition, who did it big. These people are looked at as iconic, they're legends, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't die properly. You know what I mean? They died kind of sloppily. And that shit kind of left a bad taste. It left a blind spot, or a stain, should I say, on their legacies. we can't necessarily celebrate them the way that we want to. Here in the conscious community, a lot of our elders, they brought so much information that was otherworldly. They get looked down upon because they're like, yo, look how they died. You know what I'm saying? They died filthy. You know, they might have lived a pristine life. Their moral character might have been intact. Information might have been A1. But the youth of today, especially, they ridicule them because they like, look, the nigga died broke. You know what I'm saying? They was comedic scholars and they died in the church with a reverend underneath them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no assets. Their family was, you know what I mean, at one another's throats afterwards. You know, it just, it didn't look good. It didn't look right. You know, it wasn't what we have a tendency to celebrate. And niggas not gonna celebrate something that they can't respect. You feel me? So as synchronicity would have it, you know, the serendipitous nature of the universe, it always complements the beginning of a conversation to say, look, I like where you're going with that. You dig what I'm saying? So I need to introduce you to some folk that can actually add on to that narrative and bring more weight to it, more clarity to it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it to the next level. A shout out to my brother Kenny, did an amazing job starting this conversation and even giving the family some key insight as to where they can go dealing with the insurance debacles. And, you know, he gave you an angle even about how you can extend that policy on other people in your close proximity to edify and add value to people in your circle that might not see value in themselves, right? And how you can get it right. So, like I said, man, as fate will have it, um, I was lined up to have an interview today with this good brother, did some real quick research and found out that, you know, this is definitely the conversation that we've been waiting to have for a minute. You know what I mean? We've been waiting to have this conversation for a minute. So I want to be honored um, to introduce to you our guest for the evening. You know, our brother's name is Hellraiser. And, you know, I don't object to the fact that sometimes, especially in this paradigm, you know, as the title says in this matrix, got to raise a little bit of hell. You know what I'm saying? You got to raise some hell to get to heaven properly. So, with no further ado, I want to open the line and bring in our guest for the evening. You dig? Oh yeah, I got a jungle in the back, so you're gonna see all kind of insects crawling through. I don't kill insects, you know. I kill mosquitoes though, and flies and shit like that. We're gonna let the ants live. All right. Let me open up the line. Take this off mute. Let me take this off mute. Peace.
Peace, bro.
Peace, God.
How you feeling?
I'm amazing in yourself.
I'm all good, man.
You know, I'm determined more than anything. You know what I'm saying? I I feel that this is a necessary conversation. We had our complications over at on IG, but I'm not gonna let that stop this. You know, so
Absolutely. Yeah, they was really trying to shut us down over there.
oh, they definitely was. It
You know
definitely
that
was.
that happens quite often with me. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, you know, oftentimes when I've encountered uncompromising truth tellers, you know what I mean, and they know they can gauge. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're time travelers and shit, but I don't know if they are able to gauge the effects that these interviews or conversations can indelibly have in the present, and as you said, in the future, that preparation for the future, you know, but they get to hating. So
Yeah, I mean, you already know once we bringing in a certain type of frequency, you know what happens. You know they feel that vibration, that frequency coming away. You know we kind of conflicted with the standard um, IG regulations.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But nonetheless, you know, we have access to multiple portals. So we were able to do what we had to do over here and set it up. And we here, we in the building, man. Welcome to Know the Ledge Media.
Absolutely. So what did you want to hit on first?
Well, I just wanted you to initially, you know, because the audience, this might be their first time bearing witness to your truths. You know, I just wanted you to give a brief introduction to yourself, to the family.
All right, so I go by the name of Hellraiser. That's Hail, like Hail to the King.
Yes.
And I started off in the world of metaphysics, and then I ventured off into more of a human rights activist. And you know, I made sure I focus on things, on solutions to problems that we're most accustomed to having. You know, like traveling is a big one.
Yes.
Ownership is another one, and the perception of ownership and money in general, and transacting and commerce in general. I was brought here to pretty much shed light and enlightenment on the facts versus the reality, because a lot of us as a whole are, you know, have a lot of facts, but are lost in history, you know, because there's a difference between facts versus reality. You know, it's a fact that we have a right to travel, but it's also a reality that the majority of us that's arguing that statement have consented away or waived our rights to travel, you know, in exchange for a privilege to drive.
Indeed.
So it's things like that that's that simple that we need to understand first. So when I tell the average adult, like, you know, because we go back and look at the Constitution, and you know, of course, we all remember that, yeah, we have a right to travel, we have a right to bear arms, you know, and we think about these things, but I remind people of the whole tactic, because the people that control the mass majority of people are a small group of people compared to the mass majority of people. So what happens is we're in the game where they have to tell us the information. They have to present the answers for us. They have to the doors have to be open somewhere. We just got to know which direction to go in. And I always tell people that the truth always lies right in front of you. The truth always lies right in front of you.
That's a double entendre.
Yeah, they have to put it right in front of you. See, the matrix is that they want to get you to believe that the truth is and the answers are every place outside of you, and besides being right in front of you. They want you to look. It's a mirror. It's a double-end mirror. You looking straight through. Double-sided mirror. You looking straight through. So of course we're gonna tell you your rights. We have to tell you your rights. And without them even telling you your rights, we already had God-given rights before a man gave you a piece of paper saying what your rights are.
Right.
So but besides that, on the corporate world, we're gonna tell you, we're gonna say, hey, you have a right to travel. We're gonna tell you all this imperative information when you haven't reached the level of legal competence to be able to know where to utilize this information to in your life. Like we take the Constitution in 8th grade. Majority of kids take the Constitution because they have to. It's not because they enjoy it. We didn't really enjoy social studies, because half of it was a bunch of bullshit anyway.
Right.
You know, but they had to tell us to us, so they can't say that we didn't give you the information. We told you. But now, 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes even 10 years down the line, where the information applies to you, you really don't know how to apply it because you forgot. It's kind of now you need to relearn the things that's been presented to you. But I guarantee you, if they made the Constitution a requirement in college, I bet it'd be easy for people to put 2 and 2 together. That's common sense, because now you're right at the cusp of experiencing where that information applies. Next, the other thing they got us, they mistaught us. Everybody wants to own something. Oh, I own a house. I own the car. That's mine. That's mine. We quick to say what size and put claims to something, not knowing that with ownership comes liability. The name of the game is own nothing, control everything.
Right. And I mean, you know, that's a concept that I don't think people immediately grasp, you know, because a lot of people might have been in the matrix so long that not necessarily these are foreign concepts, but they just need to be fleshed out more. So when you say that, what do you mean?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna rewind for a second and go back to traveling. Okay, so we have a right to travel, okay, but we waived our rights in exchange for a privilege to drive. So people say, what do you mean I waive my rights? Well, you waive your rights the day and second you agree to contract within a particular type of state, saying that, hey, I'm now a commercial driver. Okay, here's your driver's license for this particular state. Here's your state ID. That's a contract. So now that you contracted with that particular state, which is actually its own individual company and corporation, now you fall up under the rules and regulations within that state or in that company. Simple as that. So now you got to abide by all the rules and regulations within the bylaws of that corporation. There's a reason why they use corporate terms, because this is all business. So now that you're a citizen or a resident, now you within the jurisdiction of this particular zip code. Just like we have registration. We have registration when you first move to a place, people register their kids into school. So now you just made your kids a double ward to the state, because it was already wards to the state by the birth certificate. And by us now authenticating that birth certificate, now they're up under the assumption that you're not legally competent to handle your own affairs. Everything is based on presumptions and assumptions, all the way down the board and contracts. So now, if your kid doesn't show up for school for 3 days, now you got the sheriff at your door, because that's their child. And every day your kid doesn't show up for school, you're affecting their paycheck.
Right.
You got different states. You got I call them black states and red states. So the black states are the states that have a minimum age requirement for, that minimum age that they can actually arrest your child. So most states are migrating to no minimum age requirement, which means they can lock your 7-year-old up if he was trespassing.
Right.
And I know this based on going through this experience with one of mine. And so you got areas that we got to identify what area we in, because a lot of us might not recognize these type of things if we're not in that type of area. Different cities live off different things. Like in Chicago, they live off of, citations, red light violations, stuff like that. You go in certain areas in Indiana, where there's not a lot of crime, there's no red light cameras and stuff like that. They eat off the kids. So they want to find ways to entrap your kid at an early age so they can go into juvie and then eventually hopefully graduate into the big leagues, prison. But then they sell it to you as, oh, your child has to do this and has to do that, or we're going to arrest them, and if you don't bring them to court, it's going to be a warrant for your arrest. So because people are scared and don't truly understand their rights and the law, they pack their kids up, get them dressed, go down there to a parole officer, they call it an intake officer. They use words for key words for a particular reason. They're telling you what they're doing. Her job is to just take information from you to build a profile against you and your kid. Because without your information, they will have no information to build a profile on. And without your consent, they can't move on there until you sign these papers that's in front of you. But they train people to have a certain type of energy. It's like it's a fear tactic type of energy, like when a bill collector call you. we automatically assume that for one, the alleged debt or whatever is our debt. That's because they got us to believe that our name, we are the name that's on a piece of paper. Same thing when we go to court. We go to court up under the assumption that because you got a letter in the mail says you had to go to court, you're assuming that the name is you, but they can't. The court can. They call it court proceeding. A court can't proceed until you agree that you're the name on a piece of paper.
Right. Once you give them consent and jurisdiction, then they can move forward. And you know, if a person has kind of like never experienced this, it might seem far-fetched, even though they could use their logical mind and put sense to it to be like, well, goddamn, they've never proceeded in a proceeding until I gave them permission to do so. But you know, as of lately, because of what people have seen on the TV and the YouTube, they're just thinking about these people as aggressors who have circumvented all consent and they just deboing their way into everything. I think that they have purposely put that image in people's minds.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You know what, bro? They got my government name on my picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you edit that for me?
I don't know how to.
You just click on my name on the side and say rename. You see it where it says attendees or chat.
Okay. Attendees. All right, give me 1 second.
Okay.
More.
So it's like I give people the perfect example of court. Like anytime anybody that's been to court enough times and replay.
Hold on. Hello?
I think we just went live on YouTube. I think we just went live on YouTube.
No, we've been live.
Oh, we was live. Okay.
Yeah. I just changed your designation from a guest to a panelist. And I am renaming it now, and you Gucci.
All right, cool.
Geechee, right.
So all right, so perfect example of court. We sit up in the courtroom, just like we got a basketball court. So we sit up in the courtroom and they call your name, Mr. John Doe. So the first thing we do, first of all, we aborted the ship just by being there, but we didn't walk onto the ship until we walked through those gates. So we call that's the first contract. So we have written contracts and we have verbal contracts. So they're doing verbal contracting while we're in court. Now we shouldn't be in court because we should be doing administrative proceedings through the post office straight to the clerk for that particular court case on your behalf, appearing by special appearance. But if you so happen to go to court and board the ship, we should know how to board the ship so we can walk away to where we need to. So they first call your name, Mr. Doe. We walk up to the podium. So the first thing we're supposed to do is remove all assumptions. Remove all assumptions by letting them know. They say, "Are you Mr. Doe?" I say, "No, I'm John from the Doe family. I'm the executive administrator over the trust and estate listed right here. So with my right hand up, I'm holding an authenticated birth certificate. Now I'm on the stand as if I was an attorney representing myself or representing me. So now once I declare who I am and who I am not, I now show evidence of exactly who they're talking about based on the name that they're looking at on their piece of paper, on that ticket or warrant, whatever they're looking at. Second thing, next thing I need to do is make my appointments. Because the same way we appointed the judge to be sitting there on the panel is the same. We can't assume that our appointments stop there. We have to reappoint these representatives on a case-by-case basis. So that means we have to appoint them in their proper positions or they're going to act outside their capacity. So I said, hey, I appoint you, judge, you're the trustee. You're the trustee, and the clerk is the administrator. And now I make my demands, and I demand you discharge this case. The only reason why we're in court is to show proof of life. We show proof of life by appearing in person, in flesh and blood, and we show the corporation with the authenticated birth certificate. Some people go to court and don't say nothing, but that's how you get held in contempt and stuff like that. We want to avoid all these different type of hiccups by just responding correctly, like answering a question with a question.
Indeed.
Are you Mr. Doe? No, I'm John of the Doe family. I'm here by special appearance to resolve this matter involving John Doe Smith, that's listed right here on this contract. People say, so how are we gonna drive without a driver's license? Well, first stop saying the word drive. You got some people that just drive around paperwork in their vehicle. I don't recommend that either, because a cop will shoot you these days if you get into these altercations and arguing back and forth with these peace officers that don't know any better. So they say, well, what do we use? Well, that's where we have our foreign national driver's licenses. That's why we have our international driving permits, and that's why we have our vehicles inside of a trust. Now it's outside of state jurisdiction. Everything is in trust. It's like they say, in God we trust. That's a trust.
Facts. Why do you think people are so intimidated by the notion of the quote unquote law?
Because people, I mean, we believe in what we see. You know what I'm saying? So if we don't see anything else, you know, you believe what you see and what you hear. You know what I'm saying? So until more of us start showing and proving different, that's the only thing that's going to give the people as a whole the courage to be able to utilize the information and the tools that's been presented. You know, to me, I'm not a type that only shows his success. I show both my failures and success, because people are going to learn just as much from a failure as they would through a success. But I'm not going to show any ignorant forms of failure. Like I say, some people just out here doing things completely in a contradicting way. As the government updates their system, as the state updates their system, we need to update the way we maneuver and the way we move around through this matrix. Just like the other day, about a week ago, they shut down the front door to the IRS. For those of us that's getting their 98 EIN numbers. So everybody panicking. I say, what you panicking for? It's the back door still open. All that say is now we have to be completely foreign and not domestic.
Right.
At the end of the day, they created a corporation called the United States, and they placed themselves outside of the United States so they can control it. You can't control things fully from the inside. You have to be able to remove yourself from it, and you oversee it from the outside. So that's what they did. So they're all foreign in their proper capacity or American national standing, but they put us inside.
Indeed. You know, hence the fact that we could look at the Panama Papers. We could look at all the offshore activity that they've been caught in red hand with. We could look at all of their tax offshore, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Everything that they're doing seemingly is foreign.
Everything. They want us to remain as U.S. citizens. It's to the point where it's funny, the things that get us caught into the matrix the most is actually clever because they get us to proclaim that proudly. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm a U.S. citizen. I have rights. That sounds so crazy to me when I hear people say that. But that's the mass majority of the mind frame of the people. Completely ignorant. So first off, the government entities are not the biggest problem anymore. It's the mind frame of the people. Now we have to re-educate and to unprogram the programming that's been programmed inside their mental hard drives.
Funny, we was just talking about this on a program a few days ago. Now, how do we expect, what I'm saying? We live in a society that's almost identical to like a hive society. People are 9-to-5ers. They have little to no time for themselves. They spend any other additional time on social media. Where do we expect people outside of forums such as this? When I was in New York, we had civics class. Where are people expected to get this form of information to give them a level of clarity for them to understand the rules and methodologies of the matrix and how to get up out of it?
People have to learn how to pay attention, because to be honest with you, I mean, it's not a lot of us, but there's enough of us that are getting the attention of a large majority of the people, at least the people that halfway see something and, see another side, another side of the coin. So, I mean, you're doing your job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got at least a few handfuls of leaders that have all eyes on them. You see what I mean? So I think people need to do more paying attention to the things that we're putting out there in front of them, because another problem I'm saying is that, we could be giving them the answers, but then they want you to take the test for them. I put the answers right there on your desk. I can't take your test for you, because that's not going to teach you anything. And it's like people like I don't sell sovereignty packages and secure party creditor packages. I say you shouldn't pay anybody to do that. Now you will donate to my time and energy. But
right.
for me to do something like to that capacity for somebody on somebody's behalf, that is actually stripping you from your true power and your true, because you have no matter what type of paperwork somebody do for you, it's your responsibility to stand on it.
Yeah, you have to internalize it. You know what I'm saying? And the way that it was taught to me, because just as words of sorcery, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that people don't get spooked by this commentary, because they'll get spooked by it by me saying it. But then if I show them that they are willful participants in the shit and their government is practicing it every single day, then they got all sort of back talk. But I'm like, all right, well, your paperwork is a form of sorcery as well.
Absolutely.
And, you shouldn't get thrown by that. I'm saying it's something that you're putting your energy into. It's something that you're putting your life force into. It's something that you're bounding by your spell. Your spell is your spelling, right? And what you're saying is you're bonding that thing that you're saying on paper is bonded.
Yeah.
Right. So it should be you. It should be your life force. It should be, the energy that is coming from your hand to your pencil or your pen, and on that piece of paper, which is wood, right? It's an alchemical process. You know what I'm saying? And you should be the one responsible for that.
Absolutely.
And that's how I was taught.
It's no other way around it. It's literally because I will be contradicting myself if I believed otherwise, because it still has nothing to do with a piece of paper. It's the words on a piece of paper only describe your intent.
Right.
You see what I mean? So it's like, so if now of course, if we all in the field together, we are supposed to exchange gifts. It's against universal law And it's a universal sin for me to withhold knowledge from another, right? So but once I pass that knowledge on as a gift, and hopes that I receive knowledge from another, it's like now you have to make those words in that paper, you have to make that yours now. So I look at people that receive certain documents and paperwork. It's Monday, and Wednesday they say, yeah, I got it all filed. But what next? I say, how the hell did you do all that paperwork that quick? You couldn't have possibly been meditating on that work. So you just throwing. So see, the energies out there know when you just throwing some stuff out there, you don't know what you're doing, and you fail to put your own personal intent on it. So those are the people they make examples out of.
Right, and that's what gets held up and marched out to say, look, man, this stuff's pseudo, man. These people don't know what they talking about. They out here getting people bent up.
Yep.
I'm like,
They blame us.
Mm.
And they blame us. So I don't hold that responsibility. I never do. I always remember what I say when I say it. If somebody ever try to make an assumption, I remember the date, the time, the video. Show it to me. No assumptions. I'm not gonna sell nobody no hoop dreams. Oh, you could discharge your house and your car. You could do this. See anybody that's coming into this game just in the hopes of discharging some debt, you're gonna lose. This is 25% paperwork, maybe 70% spiritual. All day, hands down.
Facts.
And they know who they can play them games with.
Oh, they damn sure know.
No fear is allowed in this game either, because they can sense it, they can smell it.
Ain't that the truth?
So on your end, what do you think? What do you think? Some of the problems, like some of the biggest problems our people are having, so we can lay out some exact solutions.
I opened up the program with a monologue about a continuation of a conversation that we just had just last night right here on this platform. And what I was speaking of was our people's failure or inability to prepare themselves for the next phase of things, because niggas love to get metaphysical and say energy never dies. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And it's like, cool, that's good and all of that. But, what is your life's worth and legacy amount to? You feel me? If you're leaving debt behind, if you didn't handle your business, you didn't handle your BI, you lived a great life, but you died a horrible death.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about life insurance. I want to talk about trust versus estates. You know what I mean? I want to talk about the things that are necessary to prepare our people for the next phase of things, which is wealth management, passing wealth down, breaking the cycle.
Gotcha. So you took the words right out of my mouth with that. I had this conversation, or I use that as an example all the time when I get into the trust and stuff like that, because you want to know what it's like too many of us are actually comfortable. That's another problem. I see a lot of people that's comfortable, that feel like, you know what, I'm good, I made it. I went to school, I got my degree, I got a good job, I'm retired now, but not knowing that is a selfish mind frame. Because you're good, but what about, forget your immediate family, what about the generation? What about the bloodline? It's more work to be done. And most people haven't even started putting in that bloodline work, don't even understand it, because they gave away all of the most precious possession, which is their time and energy, to a third party or entity outside themselves in exchange for a dollar bill that's not worth nothing. So it's not about how much cash dollars you have, what type. Then we ask somebody like, so what are you? What are you? or what do you do? Or what is your purpose? You know, they identify themselves by, oh, I'm a this, or I'm a that, I'm a this. That has nothing to do with your purpose here. The difference between trust and estates is very simple. But they make it seem like it's rocket science. The solution, all the solutions are always simple. Anytime a person passes away or transcends to another dimension, however you want to decode it, it goes through a process called probate and litigation. Probate and litigation is simply saying that the states and the government and the courts are administrating over the estate, which is the corpse. Get it? Corpse, corporation. The corporation, the death certificate, that bond, that to identify what entities that particular corporation owed at the time of death. So now the objective is to make sure that they pay them out first, and then the remaining balance goes to the family or beneficiaries if they had any beneficiaries listed through a life insurance policy or through a trust or through a will. That's if. But 90%, if not more, of our people get buried without a life insurance policy, without a trust, without a will. Most of our people don't even know what the heck that is, or we heard the word, but we don't know the significance of it, or we taught ourselves to believe that we can't afford it. I see our people spend so much money on weed, liquor, gym shoes, clothes, everything else, but can't keep up a policy for $100 a month.
Talk about it.
To guarantee that your family's good. You can't find a way to budget that. Well, how about removing some stuff that you probably don't need in the first place to bring in something you do?
Right. You could go from high grade to Reggie, and you done saved yourself $150 a month.
Yeah, I ain't saying go without. All I'm saying is prioritizing budget.
Facts.
Hey, so we're talking about probate and litigation, all the other stuff that the probate can go on for up to 2 years, if not more, depending on how much was going on. So to avoid all of that, and notice this, it's ironic that estates are very popular. Like everybody is accustomed to hearing, estate attorneys, estate, all the public promotes estates. Like, it wouldn't make any sense for that to even exist if people knew the benefits of establishing a trust. That's like a trust never dies. They can only administer over the dead. So if we had a trust, when you have a trust in place, that's a private contract between you and your family. Anything that's within that trust goes. And your final will and testament is exactly what it says. Your final will and testament. You are the Father. You are the God within your this particular instrument. What you say goes. That is like the word of God by your hands, your blood. Nothing can come inside that trust and that bond. If all the trustees pass away, guess what? Another one is reassigned within the family. Another one's reassigned. Another one's reassigned. Another one's reassigned. The legacy continues forever.
So, people would like to be entertained and enthralled by the Game of Thrones and, this whole concept of royal families and dignitaries, and people love to be entertained by shit like that.
Yeah, but they're not putting it into place.
Huh?
Yeah, but they're not putting the art into place though.
Yeah, they're not actualizing that in their own, personal settings. You know what I'm saying? Or, NBCs, for the lack of a better term, love talking about being descendants of kings and queens, and I don't know if that still stands with the ADOS movement, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't want to treat, what I'm saying, the family or their current position in this particular life you know, they don't want to approach it with any dignity. You know what I mean? To set their thing up. They want to be so enthralled once again and enraptured in what white folk do, but you're missing the main point of what white folk do. If that's the
Exactly.
case.
Exactly. 100 grand. See, they already understand. See, they already know the game. They already was decades or maybe even centuries ahead of us as far as understanding certain levels of commerce and just business in general. You know, because it's still just business, you know, when it relates to this or whatever. But it's as simple as this. They're not quick to tie their name to some stuff, say, I'm the owner. I don't own anything. I'm the controller. I'm the manager. I'm the trustee. I'm the secretary, and I'm the treasurer. I don't own anything. I don't want to hold any personal liability. My trust owns that. Everything is in trust. In God we trust. So real quick. So we have okay, we get a policy. We get a let's say $500,000 policy. And we could do term or whole life, but it's all about leveraging and knowing the difference between the two. And you can have multiple policies for different purposes. You could have one policy just to fund your trust. They say, how do you fund your trust with the life insurance policy? You obtain a life insurance policy. Say you got one for 10 years, 500,000. Every year that policy is active is going to acquire a certain amount of tax. Nobody knows about this because we're not paying a separate tax bill every month. We're just paying the monthly payment, right? But on the back end, if you check that, you'll know that the reason why it's not accumulating a certain cash value within a certain period of time because it's being taxed within the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, a certain amount of dollars. So that's why it takes so long to reach a certain cash value so you can pull from the policy, which everybody wants to do, which is a good thing to do too, you know, for emergencies or whatever. So to eliminate the tax on the life insurance policy, you establish a trust and you gift the life insurance tax to your trust. So now you turn a debt into a funding source. So that's one way. Another one is, let's say you have, okay, let's say just make it easy, $100,000. Which is very small, $100,000 for beneficiaries, $25,000 a piece, right? So inside of your trust and inside of your will, it states who has what, who's going to take what, who does what. So everybody's going to get $25,000 a piece out of this policy, but there's stipulations within the trust. Inside my trust says that neither of my beneficiaries can take any funds from the trust or from life insurance policy, because remember, the trust owns the life insurance policy, right? Or the trust is the beneficiary of the life insurance policy. Once we do that, that means that, see, you don't even want to put all that power and control with the life insurance, with the life insurance company. You see what I mean? By us just establishing the life insurance policy, we still putting all of that control in their hands now. All you're gonna do is establish the policy with this company and grant the beneficiary your trust as the beneficiary. Now the trust creates the contract as to who actually benefits from that life insurance policy. So if you're one of my beneficiaries that's gonna get 25,000, I can write inside of my will, inside of my trust, that you can't get that 25,000 until you take a portion of that to buy out another life insurance policy for yourself. Now I guarantee that you're not gonna jag the money, because you can't get the money until you take the money, take a portion of that to buy completely. But there ain't no month to month stuff. You're gonna buy it completely out. By simply doing a strategy like that, that's how we guarantee to build generational wealth. Now we guarantee now, because it's in the contract. It's a lot we could do with these life insurance policies and these trusts. You go buy a vehicle. Stop putting stuff in our name. Everything goes in trust. It's hard for people to separate themselves from a name. That's the problem, and from a number. Now realizing that's what the Matrix was. When the movie The Matrix stopped at the end, it stopped, and you could see the numbers were all in 9-digit sequences.
Facts.
What the hell is those 9-digit numbers? Social Security
number. Right.
It's not about a name, it's a number. So we can have 1 million people with the same name as you, but everybody has a different number to identify themselves. So now you got to ask yourself, which one are you? Or which one do you choose to be you for that particular situation? Like this name and this number is I'm only representing and managing this number for this house. And I'm going to use this name and this number for this car. If something has happened to happen, I dissolve it. I destroy it. And I as a destroyer, as a creator, as the power to create also gives you the power to destroy and recreate again. But if it's outside of you, it doesn't destroy you. That's like a dirty game that Donald Trump was playing. It's already documented. This guy used to get hundreds of contractors to build the Trump Towers. Once they're done with the work and it's time to get paid out their final sums, he dissolves the corporation and starts over. Rockefeller and Trump already admitted to having over 500 EIN numbers. What do you think we do? What do you think they doing with this stuff? But we so stuck on, oh, this is my car, man. This is my house. This ain't my nothing. I don't own nothing. Because back to status correction. Everything is tied to everything. It's like an address, right? And everything has dual meanings to it. Address. So you move, you get an address, right? So now you register and become a resident of that particular area or geographic location. You get an address, and then so it's registered through the UPU, through the post office, stuff like that. So now that's in their system. So now your name and your state ID is registered to that particular address. So now guess what we allowed them to do now? We gave them the power to address us. If they didn't have the power to address us, how can we ever get served to go to court? Where's this going? Like where's this? Where's the debt? Where's the mail gonna go? Remember, they have to find a way to communicate directly with you. That's how they can legally bind you to a contract. They have your name, your number, your email, right? Your name, your number, your email, your address. The 4 major things. Like people doing all this status correction stuff, they realize the stuff don't work because they haven't fixed those 4 things. We got to start with the basics. Oh, this stuff don't work. Dude, you still haven't corrected the 4 major contracts. Wait, say why email? Why email? What? Let's see. Yahoo and Google. First of all, Google. We already know what Google's about. These are the biggest data. Google, Yahoo, Facebook, Twitter. All these guys are the biggest data sharing platforms on the planet.
Right.
This is what they use to track us. So guess what? They have subcontractors and alliance companies. The alliance companies are the one that share your information with other companies that we don't even know about, and wonder why. You'll be surprised how quick your information updates throughout all their systems. The credit bureaus, the banks. This bank's cutting people's credit lines right now because of a bad relationship with another bank. How do you know my relationship with them if you're not sharing my information? So that means somewhere in the beginning of the contract, or this is what they do. It'd be an initial contract, right? Let's say hypothetically we happen to actually read the contract, which we know damn well we don't do. They get us by doing through these mobile apps by always updating some shit. It's always an update. And within the update is new terms and conditions and within the agreement.
Right.
But what do? We just press accept. So you just agreed to allow us to share all your new updated information. I didn't tell you I wanted Joe Blow and his brothers know where I live at. I just said you can know it because I'm doing business with you. But they're in a contract with them too. We don't know because we didn't read the contract. Remember, they always got to tell us, but they ain't always got to, you know what I'm saying? They got to put it in your face. It's up to you to agree, deny, or take the time out to actually go through that. But that's unrealistic though anyway, to read through every contract. That's why we got to understand how to reserve our rights within the contract. And we need to try our best to not agree to certain contracts digitally, because that waives your rights to reserve your rights to the contract via UCC 1-308. I had a major insurance company, New York Life. These guys would not push my policy through, and they sent me a email that wasn't supposed to be for me, stating that if we happen to go to court with this legal designation behind his name, he will have us under the bus. I say thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the information. So it's as simple as that. So now we go back. Let's go back to the basics again. When we created the email, remember they asked for your address, your name, your telephone number, your address, and then for your protection, what is your cell phone number? They don't want the house number no more because they know we are mobile. See, if we mobile, they know now they are where we are, right? So now they know we're gonna have our location turned on, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now they can track us. So I say, so the first step is getting a number strictly for business with these corporations. They say, well, what number? Get a flip phone, get a dummy phone. A smartphone doesn't have our best interest when contracting. So I bust out my dummy phone.
So that's we talking about next level matrix.
Yep.
People are really, really contracting with a soulless entity that they can't get no redress with because, you know what I'm saying? These are now e-contracts. And how are you going to petition that?
Yep.
Just like all of these apps, when you pressing, you agreeing, you don't know what you're agreeing to.
So that's what makes they're removing our chance to reserve our rights in the contracts. So it's more imperative that we go in there with the correct uniform. Just like, remember, you see the email address I gave you? It's not a public email address, it's a private one.
Private, right.
I have my own email server.
Right.
Because I know for a fact that, look, these people can get your information based on an assumption to say you up under some type of investigation for whatever. And Google and Yahoo and all these public aid companies have to give them the keys to it.
Yes.
They have to. I know people personally that they have pages and pages of emails, text messages. They know what accounts they switch money to from United States, overseas, and everything to the time and the date.
Yeah, all of that is monitored and tracked.
So we gotta remember, and we gotta know how to get to Zion. And that's the difference between public and private. It ain't about brother, we ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna post no videos on YouTube. Of course, we need to watch what we post, but it's not to that degree. Public and private is basically, what are you using? How are you using it?
I mean, I was told by an individual who claims to operate on a private side, and then that's a whole nother thing. The energy that you get from people that are private, they're like very bougie with their shit. So they're like, brother, you claim to be, one of us, but you have a public persona. So until you remove yourself from all of these social media platforms, you can't consider yourself one of us.
Yeah, to me, that's a bunch of BS. See, the reason why is because the majority of these guys, especially the ones that still throwing they fishing rod out to reel the people in to sell them packages and stuff for thousands of dollars. You see what I mean? They're betraying to the people, like they're making themselves be like this Morpheus character. You know, they always have this certain tone and stuff like that, and they get the people to believe like, oh, I'm so private where you can never see my face. Nobody's ever seen these people's faces. Beware of somebody that's scared to show you their face. I'm sorry, and definitely don't send these people no money. You know what I'm saying?
Look, like, it's the same thing. People are sending people on Instagram that have pages full of Dr. Sebi quotes, right? And they selling products. People are sending them money to buy products for them. Those people are claiming they're healers, and people have never seen them, never looked in their eyes, never heard their voice. They just got memes and shit like that. And it's the same thing. People is getting duped. You know how even in the Matrix, how Morpheus came in on the internet. You know what I'm saying? He just typed some words to Neo when Neo was still Chris Anderson. And he was, you know, that's how they engage in people, and people is coughing up bread.
Yeah.
And beat.
Yeah, it's a cash cow because they feeding off the people's ignorance. It's a cash cow, and people are buying into it because you got people out here that are good salesmen. You know what I'm saying? And they just, like I said, just eating off the people's ignorance, man. Like, don't trust nobody that's scared to show their face. You know what I'm saying? Don't trust nobody that has a shit that doesn't have a track record or references and stuff like that. Is not worth it. Don't trust nobody talking about send money through Western Union, MoneyGram, Vanilla Card, Green Dot. Because you want to know why? That's unfair. Because why would I suggest you to use a method of payment that only secures me?
Oh, we got some notorious examples of that in this community.
Oh, I already know. You know, and this stuff is, man, it gotta stop, man, because these people are reselling information and they're skipping over the basics, the golden rules. It's the basics of the golden rules that really put us in the power and to really understanding how to use this information, the tools we got. And a lot of us are stuck in history. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, or, you know, just physically or whatever in the information. Things change. So we have to be able to change with time, change with the technology. It's like when bro was in the Matrix was eating that steak and said, I know this steak isn't real. No, we have to use these devices to, no, I'm not gonna stop doing sharing information on social media. No. Want to know why? Because my people are on social media. The people are on social media, right? Now it's up to me on how I use it, and to make sure that I'm in a position where I'm able to accomplish my mission and I don't get stuck on the web, right? Stuck on the web.
Right.
So I'm either gonna be the spider on the web that can crawl it and crawl off and jump off, or you're gonna get trapped. It's like most of us do. And we gotta understand what type of reprogramming in our brain that these phones and these devices are doing. Don't you know how we read from left to right? And it just so if we think about how long it takes as far as the duration, maybe and the length to go from left to right to read, but horizontally. But what are we doing through the phone apps? We're going up and down now.
Yeah, and down. Yeah, they got them from right to left.
Yep.
Indigenously, we read from left to right.
Yep.
But yeah, now they scrolling.
You scroll up and down. So now when you take that phone away and put it and redirect those eyes into a book, now you get nausea, you getting dizzy. You can't really, your brain can't tolerate because it's not accustomed to it now. You know what I'm saying? So, but we still have to use these devices. But I think half the battle is awareness. If we're aware of that information right there and what's going on, why we're using that, we can kind of balance it. It's all about balance, the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? Because we still need this to reach, because me and you can't reach the world. If that's our mission, to reach the world, it's unrealistic to think we're going to do that by foot. It's more realistic to know we can use these platforms and by way of the World Wide Web to reach the world. But we got to get in, get out, use it for what we need to use it for, and get out. This like the roll call for the Underground Railroad. We let y'all know we here. This is where we at. Now we ain't gonna keep saying it all over again, but for those that's paying attention, y'all know where we at, and you know where the real meeting room is at. See, all I'm doing is coming out and getting people's attention. I ain't even saying nothing yet. For those that are ready, we ain't got time to make people ready. For those that are ready, they will come.
Indeed.
But okay, tools, essential tools we need. Flip phones, no contracts, private email addresses, your legal address. This is the simplest way. You move somewhere, you go to a UPS store, you get a mailbox. Except you're gonna instruct the UPS people that you want the address to read as an actual street address. So if it's box number 226, you want it to be such and such South Lane Road, Suite 226. So now it reads as an actual street address. Once you get that settled, you go to the post office and do a legal address change. So now all mail that comes to you is redirected to your UPS private box. Somebody wants to send you mail, now they have to go through a third party. No mail should be coming to our house, period. So once we build this private profile with that new number that has no contract, preferably an international number, and now that we have our legal address, so now we brought ourselves, because they want you to be in your private capacity, and they want to do business with you in their corporate capacity. That's how they hold the body liable for the business that the corporate structure does. So we have to bring ourselves into a commercial capacity as well. So now it's business to business. Because guess what? If you had a problem with an official and something like that, we can't get to them directly. It's always through, even if we think we do. See, his name is okay. We got a problem with John Carter. He's a public official. Even if you send him a letter, it's not going to him. It's going to these people operate off PO boxes and corporate addresses. And even if you put his name on the paper, that's what he's doing business as. That's his DBA.
Right.
Even if his DBA matches his actual name, he's doing business as that. Now he's corrected his status. So now our relations to that name or goes to that corporation he's not personally liable for that. And these people are also bonded, which is another thing we got to do. We got to make sure we are backed by our own bonds, not the redemption manual bonds that are backed by fiat and a birth certificate that's not ours. People got to stop thinking that birth certificate is ours. The social security number is ours and blah, blah, blah. How, when on the back of the contract that we signed, says that this number belongs to the Social Security Administration, you must return it if we ask for it. How much more plain in your face do we got to see? It said it on the back of the contract. Well, I didn't sign for the birth certificate. Yes, you did. How did I sign I was a baby? Did you forget when they stuck your little baby feet on the contract? Bro. And that's if you think about it, that's a dirty move.
Dirty move.
That is a dirty move. And we think it's so cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, look at the baby feet, not knowing they contracting.
I done seen people get it tatted on them. They think it's so cute.
Oh boy. We gotta if we master catching things in the beginning of the contracts, we wouldn't be in half the mess that we in now. See, the biggest problem is that we're trying to get out of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Out of the con. It's like, but if we learn how to go into contract correctly, these people do not want no, because they're not. It's like everything is all about liens. Who has the first position? Who has the first lien holder position? But if you came and went to contract, it's like, perfect example. If I go buy a car, right? Well, not if. So any car I buy, let's say I go to the lot. I say, okay, I want that car right there. Let me get that BMW. They say, all right, I'm not gonna use their in-house financing. So I'm gonna let them, even if I was, I'm still gonna act like I'm not, because all I want from them is the bill of sale. I'm gonna take the bill of sale because it's gonna have all the vital information that identifies the vehicle. So I'm gonna take the bill of sale, let them know I contact them in 3 days once I got the everything situated with my lending institution. So I take the bill of sale, I'm instantly going home and filing a UCC lien on the property. Depending on what I'm trying to do, if I'm using private plates, like if I use, like one car I did a UCC, but I was using state plates, so that's public still. I'm still using state property, which is public property. So now I'm put a lien on the public side. But if it's private, I'm gonna do a non-UCC. That's the difference between public and private with the UCC. I'm trying to figure out why everybody's trying to make this complicated. Public, private, non-UCC, public, UCC. So I'm doing a non-UCC on my other vehicle because I'm using private plates, I have private bonds, private everything. I mean, I'm not using any state contracts. It's completely private. So now I go home within that 72-hour period. That's the first area of contract in 72 hours. So I'm putting the first lien on it, right? Before I create the new contract. So now I put the lien on. Now I go back to the car lot, purchase the vehicle. So now I got first lien position with the dealer and with the lending institution. That's gonna say I owe them a debt. So now the next contract they want me to do is register. They want me to register the vehicle. To register means to give ownership to. That's why the state's name is on the top of the title and not yours. You're just the holder of the title, but they're the owners and controllers of the property within the title.
Facts.
Bro.
You want to talk about mortgages while we at it? Shit.
Same deal. So this stuff is it's a universal golden rule. First in line, first in time. When you first do the mortgage, you go in there and do the mortgage. We got to start taking learn how to take paperwork home and stop trying to get these people to bully us into signing on a dot right then and there. So you take all those mortgages, I don't care what it comes, take all of it home. We don't have to be fully competent on because they're purposely using word perversion to use legalese and it's like we can't. Come on, we're not going to be able to understand exactly what they're doing all the time, but we can reserve our rights in the contract. So we take all those mortgage papers home. You can sign all of it, but every signature better have UCC 1-308. So now we take those, we make true copies of everything. We put our that's when we can put our except for value stamps on there, or our conditional acceptances. Conditional acceptance is better because, as opposed to a so-called accept for value, because a conditional acceptance it alleviates you from going into argument. Anytime you go into argument with these people, now why would you argue about stuff that's not that's not related to you anyway? I conditionally accept your offer if you can prove such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such. But they can never prove that, and they call it an invisible title, because they're all they're doing on the back end is constantly trading on that bond, which is, since we signed it, it becomes a promissory note, and it becomes a performance bond. It becomes a performance bond because we have to perform in order to pay the mortgage. We perform by going to work. Your blood, sweat is your equity. So now you perform it to pay, and you promise to pay within a certain amount of money every month on a certain term, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 25-year terms. So now, since you signed and agreed to that bond, that mortgage becomes a bond and a promissory note because you promised to pay. So now you gave the value of that bond $200,000. It didn't have that value until you signed for it.
That signature, right?
That's the whole concept of the house has already been paid. It's only already been paid is because you signed and agreed that it has that value. And now since you agreed that, because we gave them security, because what did we get them doing the contract? The social security number. So we gave them security. So that's the co-signer for your signature. So your signature, the security, and now they can take that into trade constantly. That's why mortgages always go from one hand to the other. They always pass it around throughout the. If you line up 30 people and ask them, a person that had a mortgage for like 10, 20 years, ask them how many companies have claimed that mortgage title belongs to them. They've been passing it along. But so in essence, we got to use authentication with everything, because once the whole concept of authentication is once you authenticate a document, that's as good as the original, which means you get the mortgage papers, you sign off on it, and now you put a declaration of ownership on top, take that to the Secretary of State, get it authenticated, now put it on a record. If they don't say nothing in 30 days, hey, it's all as good as yours.
Bro,
if we put ourselves in the right position in the beginning, and we remove their power to address us, they know if they can't legally address you directly. If they can't legally address you directly, they can't hold you directly responsible. So guess what happens? So guess what happens to your debt when they so-called claim you have a debt? I'm talking about debt disappears because they hurry up and sell it because they know they can't collect on it. So once it's sold to a third party, guess what? The debt has been paid. Now, will a third party try to contract with you by sending you? They have a gentleman always has to get notice. So once your debt was sold to the first party, so the third party, you're gonna get a notice from the third party debt collector saying we have your file inside of our office and blah 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 blah. I guarantee you, every third party debt collection, your first letter always say this at the bottom. You got 30 days to prove the validity of this debt or blah blah blah, or we're gonna assume that this is valid. Assume is the key word. We're gonna assume, but since most of us are programmed to believe that, oh, that was my debt, I did owe them, so you automatically assume that you owe them. You never owe John's Consulting Collection Group. You owe State Farm. So if John decided to purchase the debt from State Farm, I didn't tell John about my debt.
Right. I ain't contract with him.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, but no thank you. So all John could do is, his whole game is to buy the debt and hope that you assume, since you contact him all aggressive and stuff, since he contract you all aggressive and stuff, talking about you owe this and owe that, and they always want you to make payment right then and there. So you want to take care of that credit, Visa or MasterCard. I'm not paying you nothing. First of all, we got to stop talking to them over the phone. Make them communicate with us through mail. So now we start the contracting process. So now when you get that first, remember the first letter is an offer. You can either choose to accept it or reject it, but it's an offer. And by being silent, which most of us do, oh, I don't got the money to pay that, so I ain't gonna say nothing. After 30 days pay, guess what? Now you actually owe them, because now you went into contract, because you didn't tell them to screw you and have a nice day by sending them a letter of validation and a cease and desist. Now you have a certified contract because you use the post office with a certified with making the certified mail receipt number, the contract number on the top of the page, and then the green return receipt number is the proof of contract that they accepted your counter offer. Now they got 30 days to prove that you owe them. So they got to show a contract. John Consulting Collections got to show the contract saying that you agreed to pay them if they pay your debt, which they can never prove, of course, right? So now if they contact you again after that 30-day period, that's $1,000 per time they call you. All you got to do is keep your phone calls recorded. They recording you.
Right.
This phone call is now being recorded for quality assurance. This phone call is being recorded for my security purpose as well. So come on, speak on. Start doing that and watch. I bet all that hostility start simmering down.
Facts.
Watch how they start disappearing.
Oh,
Use the same thing they use on us.
I could personally bear witness to that.
No, we gotta know what players are up for hire for our benefit as well. This, and the funny thing about it is, it's the same players the same chess pieces they use against us. This called the post office, the county clerk are our two best, and and the sheriff, the county sheriff. Remember, the sheriff could put people out the house, do all type of stuff. These are service providers. This goes with all contractors, because we want to use a third hand. We want to use a third hand that we appointed to play those positions, because they don't always honor something going directly from you to them. But I guess I bet if you put that same paperwork on the county record and hire the clerk to send that certified mail, guess what happens then? Now they get a nice vanilla envelope coming from the courthouse on your behalf. And now the clerk's job is to give you the green return receipt card showing you validation that they received it. We gotta use the same tricks on them that they use on us.
Now, the first thing that people are going to say is like, look, brother, I was never taught this. You know what I'm saying? I'm a late term learner. You know, what can we do, you know, to put in place institutions where we are repeatedly teaching people how to no longer be victimized by this matrix? You know what I'm saying? Is there anything that you're offering that, you know, that people can tap into?
The easiest way, people usually, I see, because I've dealt with a lot of people, I see that they pay more attention when they're actually already in the quicksand.
Yes, they do.
You know, so if we able to take those opportunities and flip them around, but teach them at the same time, because the thing is, it's not all about just doing something to get rid of an obligation. It's all about knowing why it worked. You know what I'm saying? So we understand why it worked and why it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And if we take, like, it's like if I tell somebody, bring in a bill, bring in your last bill, your last debt. And we could take that and we look at the contract. It tells you exactly what I'm saying right now. You have 30 days. Or are we gonna assume? It's like once we start taking their real life situations, providing the remedy, and they see the results always bring people over to the other side. Even though a lot of people still skip over the basics, they end up recontracting again and again. You know, but that's why I just try to focus on the basics, because everything else will come. And these are what we're talking about is nothing rocket science about what we already been talking about. These are basics. You know what I'm saying? And the people, and it's just like that. Like now I do have a company called Trade Capital that because it boils down to this. This is what I realized. Everything is business in this particular corporation, right? So that means we need to train our people. The easiest way is to train our people how to properly conduct business within the matrix. And how we do this is, I realize people are not really in a position or mind state to really do a quick transition or jump to the other side, which is understandable. So I figure the easiest way is to have them not change nothing, but a small percentage of their mind frame, and then just how they do what they do. For instance, at Trade Capital, we offer business services that come. It's like an all-in-one business in a box. So it comes with. So let's say if it's a person that has a 9-to-5 job, which most of us, that it's a lot of people that want to start, you know, moving over to the other side and owning their own business and being an entrepreneur and declaring their independence, right? But you already know, just like you doing it, you know what I'm saying? It might look cool, but it's a lot of work and dedication you got to put in to be able to operate independently, right? It ain't no walk in the park. It ain't no, and it could be, I don't know how long it took you to get to a point, but it's damn sure took me. You know, it's a lot of things you have to just learn based on doing it and from the experience. And then you learn, you end up developing your own system that works. And once you develop a system that works, it's to the point where now you can master a system to the point where you can duplicate it and pass it on to others. I have an exact science. If people do exactly what the heck I say, they could make an easy transition, easy transitional bridge from one side to the other. So let's say if a person, because I'm focused on people that have all these excuses. I work a lot. I do this, I do that. Okay, cool. All right. I don't care if you have a business or a product or not. You go to work every day. People got to stop thinking that they don't have their own business. Every day you go to work, you're providing a service.
Right.
Last time I checked, every day you go to work, you're providing a service.
So your business is that you're a service provider.
You're a service provider. So how come your business isn't getting paid? That employer is getting credit for it. So now you work all these hours to get a check to your personal name and personal social security number. You get the check, then you go spend it. So you work, make the money, you spend it. Well, you work, they tax it, and then you spend the rest that you got left over, which probably majority gonna go on bills. And the cycle continues. But still, you keep trying to work your way out, but you're not able to work your way out because you're not getting the credit that you deserve for putting in the time and energy showing up at the job. And the only way to do that if you're doing business. So it's as simple as stop getting checks cut or direct deposit to your personal and get it cut to your business, your LLC. So now you turn personal income into business receivables. So now you can use your bank account as leverage now to show, so now you got two different sides, because you can still leverage your personal too with smaller things, small loans and stuff like that. But now you can show receivables coming in from your job. It's appearing to be that your business is receiving income. So now you can use that as leverage to get funding and loans and lines of credit and stuff like that with your bank.
You just gave them the plus to go. I'm gonna stop the show on that, man. You just gave them the keys to freedom in their own situation where they could boss up at work and still be recognized as an entity. You know what I mean? Or the other side of the entity, because you know what I mean. As we know, the employers is receiving all sort of tax benefits and stuff like that.
There is,
you know, dealing with them as an entity, as a debtor. So, god damn.
So now, guess what? So now half your expenses are write-offs now.
Damn.
Interesting. Oh, guess what? Your kids are a part of the company too. So that car you just bought your daughter, that's a write-off. That education, that's a write-off. You need to educate your employers, right? Your employees, right? All you gotta do is swipe that business debit card, because we're in 2019. Bookkeeping is not rocket science no more, because it's an app that does everything for you. All you gotta do is attach it to the QuickBooks app and keep swiping that one card. So now at the end of the year, you log into that account, press export, pass that over to your accountant. That's how you get all your write-offs back, because now it's on paper. It's been documented throughout the whole year. It's been taking track of your mileage, everything.
Same shit we was talking about last night. Like, learn how to play this game. That's exactly what it is. You can't opt out.
We can't opt out.
You can't opt out, but we want to see you win. And there's a way to do that. It's a methodology, and you just got to follow these rules. You know what I'm saying? Because failure to do so is going to render you, in that place where, people that look like us is stuck. Victimhood. Always blaming somebody else, pointing a finger. You failed to learn how to play this game. Yeah, you wasn't taught it when you was born, but guess what? If they say that life in this planet is a classroom, God damn it, pull a chair up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
They
when the
doing it right
student
in
is
front of us.
ready, the teacher will appear. Prepare yourself to be taught, but follow through with the information and the lessons. Do not let information in gyms like this go to naught. Ain't nobody out here teaching this in this particular manner. The brother simplified it. Anywhere else, they're gonna charge you $2,500 to start with,
And still only give you half the cake, if
and
that,
still only give you half of that.
if that, if that. They not teaching us. They not teaching us to. You know what? And a lot of them, some of them, a lot of the ones that's available to us don't really even know. But we got to get bits and pieces from different places to finally put the pieces of the puzzle together. So we build the proper structure to play the. I don't hate the game. I love the game because I learn from it, and it's all about having a balance. As far as we are concerned, see, they're playing. Majority of them are playing just that public role too. It's only a small elite group that's understanding the balance between the both of the private and the public. They know to establish that family trust structure. They know to take that family trust structure and create an LLC up under that. They know to make that trust the responsible party. So now the trust owns the LLC. Now we're going to do a DBA to put in front of it as an extra curtain. So now we're doing business as this, but the real company is such and such consulting. But I'm doing business as Highlight Fashions. And since the LLC is inside of a trust, it can never be penetrated. The master trust is nothing but a parent. But just like what parents do, they have kids. I call it LLC that, LLC this, multiple LLCs, LLC that, LLC this. But we got to have the right equipment and the right outfits. We can't just go get an EIN number and be like, I'm finna get business credit. How? There's levels to it. You need your Duns and Bradstreet number. That's your business credit profile number that you use your EIN to establish. But they're not gonna give you that if you don't have the other equipment. What do you gotta have? You gotta be able to be found on Google. Can we Google your business? Do you have a website? Do you have a logo? Do you have a toll-free number? Do you have a fax number? Did you create your EIN correctly? A lot of people run to get the EIN, they start off wrong. That's why in the beginning, most people start a business. If it's just one person, they automatically assume like it's just me, so I'm a sole proprietor. You just tied the social security number to the business. You just said that you still want to do business. You still want to have personal liability. That's what you said. I have corporations that have multi-members in it that have 10. Don't you know how when you establish a corporation, you have a chairman, a CEO, CFO, vice president, president. I have all slots filled, and it's only me. They say, well, who are the other people? What people? Quit thinking these positions supposed to be filled by people. It's just names and numbers. all made in the name of trust that I control. We got to stop thinking that we are names and numbers. It's not us. We are the creators of the names and the numbers. So now I can make it appear like I got a monster corporation and it's only me. I'm just the creator.
Right. They keep saying that you've been endowed with the powers of creation to mimic your creator as a co-creator. You know, it's not only relegated to you having children. These entities are your children as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can make unlimited. But if you attach yourself to it, you can die with it. So that's what we don't want to do. The number is not us. You was you before you was appointed a name. And you're gonna be you after.
As Jay said, you was you before you got here.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Like I say, it's a science to it, but it's not. I've ironed it out to the point where it's no guesswork no more. You know what I'm saying? It's not no, and that's by me spending a lot of money in a lot of places, losing a lot of money, and you know, confusing myself and realizing like, you know what? This is not that hard. It's right in front of us. But we gotta know the rules of the game. We gotta know when it changes too, because we gotta adjust. But we can't skip steps either. We gotta set up our deck and go in there and play ball. See, we need each other to be established. So now we can properly contract and conduct business with each other. I say, Blue Pill, yo, let me shoot you over 10,000 for a service. But I'm gonna need you to shoot it right back for a service on my end, on paper. So on paper, we can transact as much money as we want. But in order to do that, we only can do that with people that we can what? Trust. So everything is always still in trust.
Right. So everything. Somebody asked a very key question, and I was gonna make a statement, and I held my tongue, but I'm glad that they made that statement so now I could build on it. Right. And they said, yo, y'all see this right here? They got ants with wings out here in Atlanta now. And yeah, we had to get rid of that one. But when I said earlier about there's no running from this, you know, because a lot of people, their level of escapism is to say, look, man, I want to pack my bags and I'm just going home to the continent. I'm going to Mama Africa. Look, they don't want you over there if you're not coming with a business. Yeah. They don't want you over there if your paperwork ain't right. You think that shit don't extend to over there? Right. You're looking to see what sort of business are you bringing over there. So the sister asks, you know, when are we going to get together and go to Africa to get these rare earth minerals, the mining contracts, the RIM contracts? You know what I'm saying? And some of this has even been brought to me. I have people that have the access to the gold mines, to the diamond mines and everything, and they need operational equipment. So they're looking to partner. They want to partner with people over here. You can, if you have a construction company over here, you could go over there and get super busy. Tanzania, damn, where else did I hear? It's all of these places that they are now, you know, they came into some bread and they want to modernize their country. So they want to give these construction contracts to successful companies over here that are already doing constructions. Not a nigga with an Osho to go over there to be like, nah, son, I know how to get busy. That's not what they want to see. They want to see paperwork. They want to see, you know, are you capable of doing this? What volume of work have you done over there? So while we're thumbing our nose at what is available to us, you know what I'm saying, over here, this is a game. Play the game, and this game will open doors for you any and everywhere on the planet. But you are not going to travel abroad and be accepted as the king that you swear and you say that you are if you're not traveling in no capacity doing business. Like, people don't want to hear. They look at you crazy if you come from here and you're not about your BI. You know what I'm saying? And your paperwork don't line up.
Yeah, it's still,
and that's what they're coming over here for.
Exactly, and they should be on point. See, there's no escaping conducting business or knowing how to conduct your business and minding your business. You know what I'm saying? So minding business is taking care of your bit, and the business start in your own household. Organization. We want to start organizations, but we're unorganized. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's that, because the business is nothing but the contracts and the contractor between you and others. That's it. And we don't have to have a product or a service to contract and to create money. See, once we all established, that's when we can really have fun. That's when we can start contracting each other. Say, bro, let me do me a promissory note for 50,000. You gonna do it for 36 months. All right, cool. I'm attach a security agreement to it. We're gonna file it on the record. We're gonna do a UCC on it, and I'm gonna report back that you paid me the amount that you agreed to in the promissory note for 3 months, and then I'm going to terminate the contract as paid. So guess what that's going to do? Produce a trade line of $50,000 saying that you paid it in 3 months. So that's what position that's going to put you in a position to get real lines of credit on your own now. But it's only if you are in position to contract, meaning you have your business established. So I'm limited if my people are limited because I don't got nobody to contract with on that level. Because we talking about the back end administrative work. We ain't talking about the front end, Rudy Poo pawn rolls. We talking about creating money the way they do by creating credit. There's no real money in public circulation. So it's only credit. So we got to produce credit. And we got to understand that debt is also credit. As long as you reverse it. It's monetary value on the front end and the back end. The negative doesn't mean it's not a real negative. You just got to know how to pull it back into the public. See, the people that hoard information and these key components because they want all the power, those are the people that will never win and will always lose and will never truly grow past themselves, because it's imperative. That's why I don't sugarcoat no information, because I need for the mass majority of us to understand this so we can have more vehicles for us to operate. All these things that we're talking about are just vehicles, but we got to know somebody could buy you a car all day, but you got to know how to drive it. It don't drive itself.
Now, before we conclude this program this evening, I want to know, are you qualified at all to speak on the hemp business? We've touched on it numerous times on the program. I just came from having a tour with some of my business partners, a Smoke and Grow Rich tour out in Denver to introduce people to the hemp industry. Can you touch on that at all, or we got to follow up?
Yeah, I mean, it was introduced to me by my brother DJ Bay. Right. I'm always getting my hands in a whatever I can, that makes sense. But I always have to understand it. I have to understand it in order to control what I need to control within that industry.
No problem. Yeah.
So I mean,
we'll do a part 2. We'll follow up with DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really, all I know is right now, my whole perspective has changed within the past couple weeks on that. And the light bulb I basically with the trip, like with Atlanta and everything like that, I've seen exactly what I need to see. And if you ask DJ, I'm like a rocket. Once I get it and once I see, I say, oh, now I'm the guy that's gonna push. So yeah, whoever's trying to take advantage of this hemp program and things we got going on across the state and across the country with this, I would highly recommend getting in on it before the doors of the church start closing up. This is our time to take over a whole entire. This is life changing, because hemp it has over 60,000 uses, 60,000 ways to make bread, 60,000 ways to contract. All you gotta do is find which one is gonna be your vessel. What area are you gonna target? That's how I see it. Right. So what is something that everybody needs that I could produce at the lowest cost and promote at the lowest cost and the lowest liability and the lowest you know what I'm saying? So that's how I think about things when I go into business. And I target that one thing, because once I make that one thing pop, I can use that as leverage to go into another industry, go to another industry, or whatever. Cycle continues. So I'm still a great student in that, but I'm full force in the hemp now, bro. It's that I see it. You know what I'm saying? It's 100% based on the power that we have in the industry that nobody else has. Just the power to contract in states that are illegal. That's the biggest plus. So we're purposely going to the states where it's illegal because they're illegal and providing them with the licensing to operate.
Facts. I'm gonna take a few questions from the audience. You know what I'm saying? Because people have been saying some very interesting things in the chat. So I'll probably do three or four maybe.
Okay.
Young lady, Queen on Set 67 asks, she says she filed sole proprietorship. What can she benefit from it?
Nothing. Destroy it. Start over.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the truth hurts. That is nothing else I can say about that because you contracted wrong in the beginning. That's like saying, "Oh, my bad. Let me let me take that back." You already gave them what they needed, which was that social security number. They're not gonna give it back to you. But when you register as sole proprietor, you still classified yourself as an individual, which contradicts the whole purpose of what we're doing, is bring you out of that individual capacity.
Leaves you no protection.
But now we know it doesn't matter how many true physical people you have in your company. You are never a sole proprietor you should never be a sole proprietor in business. Because guess what? You're gonna do all that work building up your company, and then you be like 2-3 years down the line, people like, you know what? I'm tired of using. I'm trying to get some business credit. Then we go to apply for some business credit. We think because we've been in business, the duration of time we've been in business, we should be able to qualify. They don't care if you was in business for 1,000,000 years. If you wasn't contracting with the right contractors that report to the business credit bureaus, you're not going to get credit for nothing you're doing. This goes back to make sure you're in a position to get credit for everything you're doing. I'm not going to go to a gas station that I can't use my gas station Shell card to get credit for purchasing this. I'm not finna do business with companies that's not going to give me credit for it, period. You got to quit just swiping, getting receipts back. You just spent some money and got no credit. That's like going to school and then get your diploma.
Right.
You didn't get no credit.
You did mad years.
Did mad years.
You ain't get no credit, no diploma.
You get no credit. Hey, we got to really start standing up. We need all that. We need credit for everything we do. That's how you establish credit. Make sure you get credit.
Okay. Another gentleman, brother named Jay Walker, he asks, what's the next smart move after getting your LLC?
After you get it's time to start contracting. So as long as that LLC was established correctly as a because you could still do an LLC, but if you did the EIN, if you got the EIN number established incorrectly as a sole proprietor, so as long as you establish that EIN correctly, then you go in as a corporation, and that's done correctly. Now you're ready to start contracting. So the first thing you need after you get the paperwork done, and I'm telling y'all exactly what you need. Exactly. Once you get the EIN number and your LLC, the next thing you need is your Duns and Bradstreet number. If you don't have a Duns and Bradstreet number issued to that company, you can't establish credit, or it'll take you a lot longer, because what happens is you'll have to wait till later on down the line where you accidentally contract with a company that reports, and then they'll tie that EIN number to Duns and Bradstreet number that you can get later. But if you establish the corporation correctly in the beginning, you could just go and get the number directly. And now you can start giving that number to contractors when you're trying to do business with them instead of your EIN number. Or they might ask for both. Like, here's my EIN, here's my Duns. And you ask them, well, how do you know they report on their business credit? Because you're gonna ask them, do you report to Duns and Bradstreet? If you don't, I can't do business with you, period. So now it's a few things Duns and Bradstreet gonna look for. So that's why I say it's no skipping steps. You have to appear to be in business. You have to have a corporate branding, a logo. You have to have a website. You have to have your 411 listing, your Google listings. You have to have a dedicated business phone number. They know what's the difference too. No, Google Voice doesn't work. Text now doesn't work. You have to have a dedicated line for your business. Ring Central is one of them, especially if you have multiple corporate like Blue Pill. This would be good for you. Ring Central, like if somebody calls my Ring Central number, 888-597-8825, you'll see you see a lady come on like, thank you for calling. If you're looking for Hellraiser Legacy, use extension 101 for Trade Capital extension. So I created a dispatch system. Ring Central didn't tell me to do this. I made this system work like that. So I can leverage and manage all of my businesses up under one system. So now you have your toll-free number and your fax number established. You have to have a dedicated business address, and you can get one of those for about $50 a month. A nationwide company is Regus, R-E-G-U-S. You get a virtual office address from them. There's a couple other ones called Novell and a few other ones, but you can start there. You shouldn't have to spend no more than $50 a month for a virtual office. But if you think you're ready to get an actual dedicated office, go right ahead. So those are the key essential elements you need before you start asking for money and for credit from these people, because those are the things they're gonna look for. They're gonna say you're not a valid company if you don't have these things. I'm just telling you. These are the things that Duns and Bradstreet are gonna try to sell you. When you get your Duns and Bradstreet number, mark my word. Remember I said this. They're gonna try to sell you a credit package for like between $800 and like $1,500. And so one of the packages I think is like $2,500 a month, but they guarantee credit in 6 months and stuff like that. You don't need that. Tell them you're trying to establish the number, and you'll keep it in mind. You'll keep them in mind. You'll contact them later if you looking for that service or whatever. All you need is that number. From there, you can start building your credit, because I have a personal list of lenders that you can start creating first tier credit lines. First tier credit lines are the lenders like all the Incline, Staples. These are first tier credit lines. They're meaning that you can establish credit within that particular company. Meaning they'll give you a credit line, but you only can use it within their company. Right. So you need 2 accounts. So you need to make at least 2 purchases with at least 4 to 6 of these different lenders. And then after about 2 to 3 months, you're gonna establish a business credit score. So once you create that first tier, you go into the second tier now. The second tier, you can start getting smaller lines of credit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 500 here, 1,000 there, stuff like that. Now, once you establish those second tiers, now you're ready for the big bucks. And this is just on the basic level. This is outside of us being able to contract with each other and create big trade lines and stuff like that. This is basic. But you have to put in the time to establish these accounts and relationships with these different lenders. And it's a guaranteed science to it. It's no, oh, I hope this go through. There's no hope on this. So once you establish the first tier and second tier credit trade lines, now when you ask for credit, they're not gonna ask you for your Social Security number. The only reason they ask you for your Social Security number is because they need a personal guarantee, because your business is just a baby. You have to develop this. You have to develop it, right? You develop and mature the seed by contracting and establishing credit.
Grow it up.
That's it. Ain't no skipping this process. But once we do it, we will never go back, guaranteed. Because business credit lines are quadruple the times the amount than personal credit.
Amazing. Someone also wanted to know, what are the benefits of an S Corp?
S Corp, the difference between S Corp and LLC is pretty much tax classification. So even though I like LLCs, limited liability companies, I still classify myself as a partnership, because partnership is pretty much private. It's telling the IRS that we contracted privately amongst the partners within that corporation. Some people go to the S Corps because of the tax, more tax liability, but you're in a position to receive more write-offs throughout the year. But the limited liability company is less liability and easier to manage throughout the year. But you can also change. You can always change your tax classification at any given time with your tax person or whatever. You just want to let them know, I want to be. I'm an LLC, but I want to be classified as a partnership. Or I want to be classified as an S corp. So we really have to get close to an accountant. You know what I'm saying? Unless we're gonna become our own accountant. I wouldn't recommend that at first because you're gonna end up losing somewhere. Find somebody that understands business taxes. So when we establish your corporation, we give you all the tax forms you need to hand right over to your I'm not talking about Jackson Hewitt and H&R Block. Those people don't know absolutely nothing. They just data entry personnel. Deal with somebody that understands tax, because all they do is try to marry and merge your personal taxes with your business taxes. And that's what you don't want to do. As a business owner, you have two different tax returns, because as a business owner or controller, you got two roles, two hats. You walk in the door, you file your taxes as individual taxes as the employee, and you go back in there and get another tax return as the employer. And guess what? Since you the owner, you could depict how much money you earn as an employee. So that's when your payroll come in. So you cut a check to yourself for X amount of dollars, even if you don't get all the money. Say you want to make $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week, but you're not making $2,000 a week, but you want to appear that you made that. You can run your payroll to cut you a check for $2,000 a week, but you just can't cash it. All you gotta do is have enough money to pay the taxes on $2,000 a week. You get it? So however much it costs as far as the federal and state taxes, that's how on $2,000. That's how much you have to be able to pay if you want to pay yourself $2,000 a month, and you want to leverage off you been appearing that you make that much money a month. Because guess what? At the end of the year, you're gonna get that return. As a business owner, at the end of the month, December, you only made $50,000, but you want to make it to appear like you made a $250,000. All you gotta do is get one of your contractor friends to cut you a check. But you got to give it back though. But for the simple fact that you was able to deposit the check, it's on record now. Now you can use that as leverage. It's all. Have we realized that everything in this world, in this contractual world, is all about what shows on paper? That's it. Everything in their world is all about what does it show on the paper? What does it show in the system? When we look up your name, your business, what does it show? So all we doing is using techniques to show them what they want to see. And we talking about ways, every way I'm talking about is ways you can do it without no money. Because I know realistically, our people got to build their way up to that. So everything I'm talking about costs no money. But you do need to be somebody that somebody else can trust though.
That trust factor.
That trust factor is the biggest thing in the world.
Shout out to my contractor friends. Hey, look, y'all, y'all need to thumbs up this video. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, European will have you paying $10,000 a head to get this information. You know what I mean? Thumbs up the video. That's the least you can do. You know what I mean?
Facts.
We'll take one more question from the audience. You know what I mean? And yeah, like you got a full plate. Once again, I'm gonna let you take this home and break it down and digest it. I don't want to overburden you. You know, let's do one more question, y'all. Don't get scared now. No, put yourself in the game. You know, brother gave you all of the rules to the game. You know what I'm saying? Thumbs up the video, y'all. Show the appreciation. Appreciation factor is important.
Definitely.
That grace and favor.
Definitely. I sure wish I had somebody give me all the game.
Shit.
With no hidden agenda.
Can you recommend a good tax guide for truckers?
Not necessarily. You got to find somebody in your area that you can like bump shoulders with. I have, like I said, I have personal people. It doesn't matter what you do. It's tax is tax. You know what I'm saying? Business is business. It doesn't matter what field you're in and stuff like that. If you're set up to do business, you need the proper CPA that can do those filings the right way for you, so you can get back what you need to get back as a business controller. So it really doesn't matter, as long as you don't use those commercial brands.
Yeah, this is 2 good questions.
Okay.
I'm in the process of getting my AZ registrar of contractors numbers for my commercial and residential dual 67 license and telecommunications. Should I start it as an S corp or go into a partnership?
It really doesn't. LLC is, I prefer the LLC because I can always, I can go either way. You know what I'm saying? Because your tax classification might end up changing. Because this is the thing, anytime you start anything, you always want to be in a position to have to change if necessary. You see what I mean? So
you want to be mutable.
Exactly, because everything change. Anything that doesn't change has no growth. So you always want to be in a neutral ground where you're able to leverage either side. You're able to comfortably choose a direction without it penalizing you in a negative way. So like I said, you can do an LLC and be classify yourself as a partnership, or classify yourself as an S corp. Or you could do, depending on type of business you do, you could do a business trust. A business trust legally is not required to be incorporated. So depending on what type of private businesses we have, our private businesses should be held in trust privately. Then if you really want to get clever, you build all your corporations, and then you bring everything up under the covenant of your church. You develop your 508 ministries. So now you got corporations. So guess what? Why are we building your church? Why? Because no state or government can intervene with a person's religious beliefs. It's my religion to make money and contract and do commerce.
Yo,
it's like my bylaws.
Word of my mother. I was in the I was with one of my fellow Moors. We was pushing through the country yesterday, and and we were surveying land, and every other establishment, it was a church.
You see that?
And I was telling him, I was like, yo, I'm ready to open my ministries. You know what I mean? I want to do a plant-based ministries, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with all of the information coming out of the Bible, dealing with health and herbs. And he's like, man, you for real? I'm like, I'm dead ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So now you done gave me the initial extra push that I needed. It's going to be virtual, y'all. So y'all part of my ministries and congregation. I'm going to get my shit rocking.
Exactly.
You know
now all your members,
4,000. I'm coming for all of y'all's.
Now everybody becomes members of your church, bro. Now everybody's members of their church. So what happens in church? Everybody brings their tithes and donations.
It does it donations.
So so that's the same thing our corporations do if they up under the church. The corporations deal in public, make money, just like the people go to work Monday through Saturday and go to church Sunday and pay their tithes, donations, and offerings. So my corporations make money and they come to church on Sunday and pay them back to my ministries as tithes. So guess what? I'm tax exempt now. That's how you exempt the taxes from your corporation, because you're gifting the income into the church.
Learn how to play the game. Don't blame nobody for your failure to learn how to play the game inside and outside this matrix. God damn it.
We can't hate the game. Amen.
Can't hate the game.
We can't hate the game.
Only be upset with the fact that they did not listen and learn in school. Right? Thumbs up the video. And this leads into the next and the last question, which is a good one. The brother said, is it a benefit having a business or your house in your free national name and in a trust?
Absolutely. Remember I said earlier, all property belongs to your trust. It doesn't matter the name, call it whatever. You want to name it after you, but as long as it's not you, it's the trust. That's what the trust name is. Yeah, of course it's a business. The house can be in the LLC that's owned by your trust. See, it's all about layers, and I like playing around with the threes, with the triangle.
All right, we're in the 3 year. Talk that talk. Let me hear this.
Everything goes full circle. That's commerce. Layers.
Man.
That's how we create these stealth organizations and associations and ministries, and that's how we remove ourselves, and we become the controllers and not the game that's being played, or the characters in the game that's being played.
Yeah, man. This is what we about. Empowerment. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to I want to see the people win. I want to see us win. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I when I say people, I have to step back and, for the family that's here in the audience, about our Tough Talk Tuesdays conversations. I don't want to, that's not an ambiguous term. People, I could be saying I'm talking about the people right here in this chat room. You know what I'm saying? I could be talking about the people that's on our line, those that are ambitious enough that really want to overstand and understand this game for what it is, and approach it and attack it with a smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? You can't even rest properly at night. Your mind is overactive because you can't wait to get up the next day and just hit on this game because it's just so lovely. It's so rewarding, right? You want to kiss the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You love this place for what it's offering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's providing you the leverage that once you do for self and position yourself into a situation where you good and you can go and help others, man, that's doing the Lord's work.
Mm-hmm.
That's doing the Lord's work. You dig what I'm saying? So this is exciting, man. I'm so amazed at the developments, how this year is unfolding, and as much hate that the Moors get in this community. There's nothing more than this community needs than a lesson in civics. You know what I mean? And a primer in law, and some fucking updated, futuristic, ahead of the game. You know, that's why this community is failing and looks so motherfucking flabby, shabby, and sick. Because the right information is not being conveyed. You can go to any one of them channels right now, like right now. They talking some bullshit. Right now, I just got a notification. They talking crazy. And none of that is going to help you with your personal edification or to secure your position in this lifetime and beyond. We talking, what is your 100-year shadow going to look like? That's the only thing that I'm concerned with, bro.
Yep. Don't get
And
rich quick
beyond.
books don't work. Donald Trump book don't work. But I don't know why, because they can't. People that start off that far ahead of us can't teach you to get from where we start from to where they're at, because they don't know about this. We have to be far more intelligent and strategic to be able to get halfway to where these people are.
Right.
And in return, we end up being more intelligent because we have to be way more creative and innovative.
Yeah, so I'm not a victim, y'all. I thank you, Instagram. Thank you, IG. Right? What did I keep telling y'all? I look for the silver lining in dark clouds, right? Because I can never consecrate myself to be a victim. The sky can't be falling on me. It has to be motherfucking opening up. So if we did this on IG, we would have to start and go back. It pushed us. The universe was like, no, go to the tube, document this. You know what I'm saying? Register and log this in. Bring this to your congregation directly. Now we're gonna chop some of the footage up and bring it to IG and bring people over to this video. But y'all, I'm telling you, I love y'all so much that I want to tell you the name of the ministries, but I can't do it. I gotta consult with the mentorship. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know what I mean? But it's coming, y'all. It's definitely on its way. Tonight's program is being sponsored by that Gold Water. You
Oh
feel
yeah,
me?
I need to cop some of that.
Yes, indeed. That Gold Water. You know what I mean? And all this is biblical, man. All of this, all this is the foundation that's being laid for this ministries, y'all. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna Rick rock this, man. I'm telling you.
Hey man, it's time for everybody to declare their independence, man.
Yes.
Ask the people how many of them have actually signed the Declaration of Independence and put it on the record so it can be valid.
Mm.
Oh, did we assume that applies to us because they said it? Yeah, no, they didn't tell you have to sign the contract or accept the contract. Interesting. They got us to sign all that other stuff though. That contracts us in.
Right. That's a whole nother that's part 2. You know, we're gonna bring that conversation back with some reinforcements, and you know, we're gonna really engage and see where the people is at with this thing.
Absolutely.
I got an amazing brother that I do a series with called Ken Brisbane. It's called Tough Talk Tuesdays. We talk about grace and favor. You know, I would love to like I said, this is the brother that just last night we were talking about the life insurance, and he was just laying out some game, and tonight you're laying out some game, and I just want to bring the thinking people together, man. And we got it all figured out. You know, we got the answers. You know what I'm saying? And the people are there as well. We just got to bring both of those components together and really put the power where it needs to be. But you did just come through Atlanta last week. Y'all was on tour, you and DJ. What's your next stop, bro?
We gotta make a detour. We going to Oregon next on the 1st, and then we gotta spin our wheels and go to Kansas because it's a big deal going over there in Kansas. A lot of territory we gotta take over. So we just made a change in the schedule. So
I got folks in Kansas. I have to inform them.
really?
And
Okay.
yeah. And I also got folks in Oregon. You know, I think we are going to Eugene or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oregon is dope. They call that God's country. It's
I heard.
beautiful. It's
I never. This is my
beautiful.
first time laying foot
Right.
over there.
Look, before you go, I'm gonna give you a homework assignment. You know what I'm saying? Look at Wild Wild Country on Netflix.
Wild Wild Country.
Yes, that's the documentary about Osho and his congregation, how they took their ministries to Oregon. I think they got 55 acres and they formed an entire autonomous city.
Really?
Right? Son.
I'm on it.
They only
Tonight.
needed 150 people to create a township. And they went and they used the politics. They used all of the politics that was available to them to tweak the system. They was gathered up. They had their own security. I mean, the shit is amazing. Just please go watch that.
I promise you, it'll be watched tonight.
Yes.
I don't sleep on stuff. See, you know, like I know, a lot of the information and messages are inside these so-called entertainment sequels, like Billions, Blacklist, American Gods,
Black
all these.
Monday.
Bro, I promise you, I just started watching Black Monday, like Monday. Dude, that stuff is crazy.
Crazy. They giving it up. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we're gonna talk offline. Shout out to Mayor. He told me this is gonna be one of the best interviews that I had. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ. Shout out to Tyreek Bay and Smoke and Grow Rich. Shout out to my brother Dre. You know, this is an amazing pairing. I appreciate your intelligence, your intellect, and your passion, you know, to put people in the right position to do for self. You know what I mean? You would definitely make the prophet proud. I appreciate this.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you for having me, man. Let's do it.
Indeed, y'all. All right, to the chat. You know, do you have any website information that because I'm sure that they might want to go check out?
Yeah. Thanks. I would have forgot. So I have an online network called the Hellraiser Legacy. It's a membership panel that has a lot of documentations, recent books, audios, videos, operating in the pub. I mean, in the private. For the business packages and stuff that go to tradecapital.world. That's TRECAPITAL.world. And then the Hellraiser Legacy is the network. And then anybody that's looking to become an American national can go to americannationals.org. And yeah, that's that for now. Then I also have nationalfinancealliance.world for when you get done with Trade Capital, you can start to establish your business credit. So, but follow me on YouTube at The Hellraiser. That's TheHailrazor. And on Instagram, Hell2Razor. That's Hell, the number 2, and Razor. So keep up with what I got going on and stuff like that.
Absolutely, family. All right, y'all. $ Blue Pillar 44. I don't know if you got a cash app that you want to give them because they got a full meal tonight. It's only right that they leave a tip.
My cash app is the Hellraiser Legacy.
Okay.
TheHailrazor and Legacy.
RAZOR Legacy. The Legacy.
Yep, the Hellraiser Legacy.
The Hellraiser Legacy. All right, I'm gonna drop that. Please, y'all, give your appreciation for Empress B444. Give your appreciation for the Compass Circle, both moderators holding us down for this evening. You know how the Empress give it up, always holding that royal court. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you, everyone that has joined us this evening. The grace and favor is definitely going to cover you. We appreciate you. We love you to life. Please do not take this information passively. This is a call to action. This is, activate yourselves. Move with this. Know that this is a blessing and a blessing. You know what I mean? And with that, yeah, I'm going to leave y'all on that note. All right?
All right, bro.
Peace.
Peace.